What the hell is life insurance? We already know that insurance itself can be very scummy in America. So what does life insurance even do? I was asking myself this question when I came across a few people I used to know doing this sort of sales job. And in this job, you get paid when you sell people life insurance, usually elderly people. So I thought this would be a nice little side gig to have. So I talked about it with my other homie, and he said he did it before, but it's not worth it because you end up losing a lot of money buying leads and you kind of manipulate elderly people. He said that it didn't feel right because you're trying to convince these vulnerable people to buy something that they might not need, and you're persuading these people to spend what little they might have on this extra payment. So after hearing this from my friend a couple of days later, I visited my grandma, and it turns out she was getting calls constantly trying to get her to buy some overpriced life insurance plan. I helped her block these numbers, and it got me thinking, who should buy life insurance and who should avoid it? Also, no hate to the sales reps in this video. So at its core, life insurance is a good option for people who are the sole source of income for their families. Life insurance is almost like a bet you make with an insurance company. You bet that you're gonna die, and they bet that you're gonna live. So it's an interesting way to think about it. So every month you end up paying the insurance a set amount of cash, and that's called your premium. In exchange, the insurance company promises that if you do die while your contract is alive, they'll give a bunch of tax-free money to whoever you picked to receive it, like your spouse or your kids. And if the contract ends and you're still alive, then the insurance company keeps all the money and everyone moves on. The actual purpose of life insurance is to be an income replacement tool. So if you're working a job and you're supporting your family, you're paying rent, you're buying food and groceries, and you're paying car payments and medical bills, and God forbid you get hit by a bus tomorrow, then your family wouldn't have any money to help them survive. So when it benefits you, life insurance is kind of like a barrier you put up so your family has this buffer of cash after you die. And life insurance also covers funeral costs and other expenses that your family would have to pay if you die. And those expenses could rack up and average anywhere from 10K or even higher. So generally speaking, life insurance isn't a scam, and by all means is necessary for some people that I talked about. So here's where it gets kind of shady. When buying life insurance, there's two kinds of life insurance. So there's term life, which is the basic and usually better option. And then there's whole life, which is the scam version of life insurance. So for term life, you pick a timeline, and that's how long your contract is, usually around 20 to 30 years, and you would pay around $30 to $50 a month. So it's still a decent amount of money that you're paying every month, but compared to whole life, it's much cheaper. So if you get a whole life plan, you get covered until the day you die, but insurance companies pitch it as a savings account or a tax-free wealth building strategy. So it sounds too good to be true, and you get insured for the rest of your life, and you end up building some wealth. And that's the trap that most people get caught in, because these policies usually cost around 10 times more than term life for roughly the same outcome. You end up paying around $300 a month or even higher, and your wealth that's supposed to grow, it grows at an extremely slow rate. So you could literally just make more by putting your cash in an investment account. So when an insurance sales rep tries to sell life insurance to someone, they could sell them the term life for $30 a month, and depending on the company they work for, the sales rep could make $200 flat. But if they convince the person to buy the whole life insurance plan, they get a massive payout, like usually 80% or higher of the entire first year's payment going to the sales rep. This creates a problem where the system rewards the representatives for selling more expensive and unnecessary contracts to the people who are least equipped to afford them. Also, the sales rep doesn't just magically get these people's numbers out of their asses, alright? They gotta buy them from companies that sell leads. So basically, leads are people that are interested in buying life insurance, and these companies get these people's numbers when they click on life insurance ads or fill out forms, or there's various methods through social media, and some can be shady. And the whole business model behind a lot of these insurance agencies like Family First Life or World Financial Group operate like a multi-level marketing scheme, which means they hire young and hopeful sales representatives and promise them financial freedom, but they force them to spend hundreds or even thousands on buying leads that are sometimes recycled phone numbers from customers that already have a life insurance plan. So they can't even make a deal from those leads, and they can't profit off them. So now these reps are desperate and they've lost a lot of money. to make that money back, they'll resort to constantly pressuring and calling elderly people on fixed incomes and using manipulation tactics where the rep describes to the customer how their family would grieve them so much when they die, or sometimes describing in detail how their family would suffer from their death, or they use other shitty manipulation tactics on elderly people that are sometimes just lonely and don't even have close family that's dependent on their income, which is the whole basis of people buying life insurance. They end up making this lonely person think that this sales rep is their friend and this sales rep wants the best for them. They're basically trying to convince the elderly that they need these overpriced insurance policies so they don't burden their family or kids, which is really shitty. The concept as a whole is a great idea and something that we could all benefit from some point in our lifetime, right? But the whole system that sells this is literally designed to squeeze money out of people that just want to protect their loved ones. So moral of the story is be educated on what you're buying and what you're signing up for. And especially if you are or you have family that's elderly, keep them in check and make sure you teach them about this kind of stuff. Especially with like AI voices and how things being AI nowadays, they are the target demographic for a lot of scams. So I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know if you have some neat ideas for future videos in the comments, and peace out.